In this episode, we are going to learn about a guided tour of the batteries included with the Mojo programming language. Every programming language ships with batteries included. And when I say batteries included, what I mean is ready-made types and function, so you don't reinvent the basics. And a lovely fact about Mojo programming language is it's open source, so you can read exactly how a string or list is built. The most common things are built in, available in every Mojo program without importing anything. You have used most of them already in previous episodes. The numeric types, integer, the fixed width family, the floats, boolean, string, list and tuple, SIMD, the vector type behind Mojo speed, and the core functions like print, length, range, absolute, min and max. Beyond the built-in list and tuple, the collections package adds the data structure that show up constantly in real work. A dictionary maps key to the value. It's perfect for the lookups, and a set holds unique values. Add the same thing twice in a set data type and the duplicate is simply ignored. You can always reach out to dictionary when you need lookups by key, and reach out to set when you care about uniqueness or fast. Is this thing isn't in there? The math module holds the mathematical functions you would expect plus the usual constants. Square roots, ceiling, floor, and for trig, logarithms, and the rest is all in here too. This is your first stop for numerical work that goes a step beyond the basic operators. And the sys module lets you ask about the machine it's running on, which is useful when you are tuning for performance. SIMD width, you can ask for the SIMD width for a type and the number of physical cores, the bridge between your code and the hardware it runs on. And these are exactly the numbers you would want to use when you want to size your SIMD vectors and decide how many parallel work items to launch. Everything what we learned in last episode. The operating system and the related modules let you interact with the files and the environment, the everyday plumbing of any application that loads data from the disk. A couple of more built-in functions that earns their keep, like time, to measure how long things take, because the golden rule of performance is measure, don't guess, and testing paired with the Mojo test command. Grab a counter before your work and after, and the difference tells you how long it took, down to the nanosecond. Indispensable when you are optimizing. And remember, the entire Python ecosystem is effectively an extension of your standard library. Anything Mojo's own library doesn't have yet, you can borrow from the Python today. The standard library is a large and still growing, so the most useful skill isn't memorizing it and it's knowing how to look things up. 3 ways: the official reference documents every module, type and function. Because it's open source, you can read the actual implementation. And your editor's autocomplete is going to show you the methods on any type. Now here is the one good habit I want you to follow. Before writing a utility yourself, spend 2 minutes checking where the standard library already has it. More often than you expect, it does. And it's better tested than what you write in a hurry. So take a breath and look back at all the grounds that we have covered together. You learned about Mojo, how Mojo stores data, why types and memory make it fast, control flow and functions, building your own types, traits, borrowing Python, metaprogramming, SIMD and multi-core parallelism, and ownership, life cycles, and pointers. That's the real foundation. Now you can write Mojo program that's expressive and fast, the exact combination that pulled me into this programming language in the first place. Now let's go build something. Thank you for coming this for me. And from here, we are going to point these skills at the real problems. See you then.